There's a world of darkness out there, beyond time or space. A world filled with evil that is undeniably real. And in that world, there are things that run wild.
Hello and welcome to Freaky Fandoms. I am Andrew.
And I am Deborah.
And today we are starting off episode 101, the first episode out of our 100th episode.
It's insane. I know I haven't been around for the whole run of it. I know I'm relatively new.
Not anymore. You've
not
been
anymore.
on
I've
the
done
show
a
for
shit ton of episodes. It's just so
over 40.
insane. It's just so insane, though, that I was there when you even started thinking about doing this.
Yeah.
And that we're at 101.
Yeah, we've got a lot done in the last 2 years. We've got a lot ahead of us. A couple of episodes that we've been thinking about. I think it's interesting that we had some ideas for what we were going to start off our second 100 episodes with. 101 was kind of a tough one to pin down.
Yeah, and because we actually, I got my notebook and my pencils and everything, and actually mapped out, I think, all the way until May.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
And some of the episodes have changed since then, but 101, I was never really able to pin down. I left it as like a miscellaneous.
Yeah, and the thing is that we've had some ideas to revisit an old series that we talked about that you recently watched almost all of. The important stuff, anyway.
All the real stuff.
Yeah, all the good shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Tojimura.
There's a couple episodes that you wanted to redo to get my 2 cents on. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily redo, but also
revisit.
More like, kind of, really dig into a little bit more. Talk about some things that, have changed with, like, the fandom and the directors and talent and how our perceptions are of different things, like a couple of years after the latest season came out and stuff like that. But also, we had a pretty big loss last week that hit us pretty deeply because of our families and our experiences and, meeting these people and other stuff.
Yeah, it completely blindsided us, and it was a great way to start the day.
I know. Luke Perry was a rough one. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Buffy fans. Let's just say maybe next year we'll do a kind of memorial episode and also talk about the group.
But let's go ahead and do a quick cheers to Keith Flint.
Yeah. Fucking Keith. Flinty.
Yeah, that kind of put a hiccup in our...
Yeah, we were thinking about doing that as 101 for the first couple of days,
but we can't.
No, it's we gotta let things
settle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, folks, you're joining us. This is our episode on Wicked City.
Yes.
Fucking Wicked City.
So the way we came up to decide to do this one is we talk about doing this one frequently.
Yeah.
And we just never get around to it. And then Flinty died and we were like, man, we're going to do a Prodigy episode and we can't do it.
Well, we got shit-faced.
Yeah.
And watched Hackers.
Yeah.
Because, that's one of the very first movies where the Prodigy is, all over a feature-length film. And it's everything from Music for the Jilted Generation when he was still part of the performance side of the band, not really behind the mic yet. But that's going to be something that we talk about in the future. But we got fucking wrecked when we found out that he was gone.
And then the next day we were like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then we're like, I don't know. And I'm like, let's just watch fucking Wicked City.
And we did.
And I'm like, let's just do Wicked City.
And we have been on a hardcore fucking anime kick.
Oh, yeah. It's been...
since we started it with Wicked City. And I think some of it also gives us a little bit of perspective on overall... anime feature films,
and how
OVAs,
and how they have evolved, and how we have evolved as viewers, and
what the current landscape of Japanese animation is, or what anime means, or what the
so
fans
I'm gonna go ahead and
are.
throw it out there. We watched Spirited Away again, and I was like, Spirited Away, one of the best anime movies ever made, and I'm watching it, and like, it's fantastic. And then we watched Nausicaa, and I'm like, oh.
Well, the thing is that we put on Nausicaa, and we're gonna have to do a Miyazaki episode.
Yeah.
You know,
But it's like, I think Nausicaa is better than Spirited Away. I think Howl's better than Spirited Away.
I think Spirited Away was a phenomenon, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And it got an Oscar, which is rare for a Japanese anime.
Yeah.
And a lot of...
I'm not saying it's bad or discrediting it. I'm just saying, like, we realized more about ourselves this week watching anime.
Yeah. So let's, before we actually get into the nuts and bolts of what Wicked City is, and just to get it out of the way right now, this is one of the most controversial adult-themed films that is not a porn. It rides the line. It rides the line very close, but only because it is an action film, it's a noir film, it's a detective film, gun for hire kind of story, with very strong sexual themes.
It's close to hentai level, yeah.
I'd say probably the closest is the penetration bit where she's getting attacked
by tentacles. Those don't count.
Okay.
But they don't really show.
There's no real insertion other than like the throat thing.
That's
when
it.
She's getting attacked
by the tentacles. So yeah, we're again throwing it out there. This is going to be an explicit episode.
Oh, not safe for work by any fucking means, folks.
So it's
as usual.
It's explicit, controversial. There's some themes in it that will upset people.
Yes.
So we're going to tell you right now that we do not agree with these themes, but they are important to the film.
Yeah, and we are going to be quoting some stuff from Yoshiaki Kawajiri, the director, who has some very tough thoughts on how to present certain themes in his work. But nothing that should make anybody who's used to shit from guys like Lars von Trier recoil.
But we just want to go ahead and say we do not mean to offend anybody.
No.
And we're sorry if you get offended. We're just talking about an anime.
Yeah. And we don't support, anything malicious against anybody. But we will be talking about some stuff that happens in this movie that is very, trigger inducing for some people who might not be ready for it. So this is a very tough
subject
film.
Let's do it.
How do you want to start this off?
Okay, so like we always do.
Yeah.
How did you get introduced or find out about Wicked City?
Movie trailers, actually. Yeah. Because back in the day, there were anime films that were like taboo, you would go in the anime section after checking out the horror section at the video store, and you would see all these cool ones, like ones from Orion, when they bought up Streamline Pictures and released stuff like Akira and all these other films, Lily Cat and, all that stuff. My first introduction to anime was mainly through probably Fox early Saturday morning programming. I think I saw some really early episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and then eventually went to Sci-Fi Channel, where I first saw Vampire Hunter D, which was my very first, anime, and still one of my all-time favorites. And then I saw Iria and a bunch of others, but they would show like the Saturday morning anime trailers on the television channel, and it would include stuff from like Demon City, Shinjuku, and other ones from this same director.
Did they ever do Goku Midnight Eye?
No, they didn't. Which is another Kawajiri.
Yeah.
But they did do, I think, Ninja Scroll. So
yes!
I did see Ninja Scroll edited the first time.
Well, yeah.
Because they would never put that on TV uncut, no way. But Wicked City was never on TV. Wicked City I saw when I think we watched Ninja Scroll at Chez's house, maybe?
Okay.
And the tape had the preview reel, which Wicked City was featured.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of the images from Wicked City. It was the fight at the airport where the guy's head gets blown off and then the eye, opens up and rolls around.
Uh-huh.
And then the guy gets his ribs broken and then recoils his head back.
And then the head comes out of his mouth.
Demon, jaws come out of his mouth. So that was really striking imagery. And I was like, fuck, this movie looks like hardcore animated horror. So I tracked it down eventually and watched it, probably when I was around, 16, something like that, and instantly became a fan. Okay. And I've watched it just off and on for years since, in the last 20 years. So that's about as long as I've had with this movie.
So me, I can't remember if it was I was sick and on an anime kick and you were just like, oh, you've never seen this one, I'm going to put it on. Or if you were like, and I'm going to say this, or if you were like, you want to watch a sexy movie?
What? I mean, we've got some in the collection, but I'm pretty sure.
No, it was one of those ones. It's one of those ones where it's like, I'm gonna put this on and you might get hot from it. And I was like, okay. So I can't remember if it was that or if I was sick.
Define sick, especially in that context.
I mean, head cold, what I've been dealing with recently. But it was
that's perverse.
It was one of the two.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
And you put it on for me, I want to say 6 years ago?
Probably. And I think it was when this was available in its 89 or early 90s English dub on YouTube.
Yes.
And I have some issue with watching movies ripped and uploaded to YouTube. Mainly if the film is not domestically distributed.
So, and I have the same issue, you know that. But like I was saying, that's how I got introduced to it, is you introduced me because I was I think I might have been sick.
Right.
And you just wanted me to see it. And it's become one of the ones that I think about frequently.
Oh, you know what? It might have been after we watched Ninja Scroll. I was like, you want to see another badass one? But yeah.
So anyway, I watch it. I think about it frequently. And it's just one of those ones that I'm just like, hey, let's just put on Wicked City. And we put it on and I do my nails and all like I did the other day. But it's one that we've put on repeatedly and I just think about a lot. So it's one that I enjoy.
How was it when you first saw it?
I was shocked.
Okay. Give me your first impressions when you saw this with no
Because you didn't even tell me about it.
Yeah, I just put it on.
You just put it on, didn't tell me anything about it. I was mesmerized. I was captivated. I was totally into seeing where it went. And it was also like, it's really erotic. And I was like,
go on.
I was like, this is great. And I was completely shocked and blown away by the whole thing on many levels.
Okay.
And it's great. Yeah.
What do you think about people seeing it for the first time without any notice other than just, this is a movie that will challenge you probably?
Oh no, it's gonna shake some people.
Okay, you think this could fuck some people up?
This can fuck some people up. So there's some things that happen to it which I'm not gonna get into my own personal
Right.
life and history and everything, but it's not fun, easy stuff. But just because, you may have dealt with that kind of thing in your life doesn't mean you have to be a victim to it your whole life. So you watch this and you don't need to get triggered. You just need to realize it's part of a movie.
Yeah, and it's also intentionally part of the story.
Yeah.
Which, we're going to get into.
It's not senseless.
What would you say we should cover before we get into spoiler territory? Because we're going to spoil the fucking shit out of this movie.
Yeah,
but I really think
that's another thing. This is not a horror.
No.
No. You were saying it was, and I'm like, no, this is a supernatural noir.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like the trailer made me think that it was a horror movie. And then you watch the movie.
Even the other day you said it.
Well, it has horror elements in it.
But it's a supernatural noir.
Yeah, I would not put this in the horror section.
Hell no.
No, I would put this in, like, maybe the action section, maybe, the supernatural, but definitely it does have that noir element to it. And sometimes I think a little bit about Blade Runner with, the callbacks.
This is better than that.
Well, yeah, because the Blade Runner fucking Harrison Ford voiceover narration.
I don't care if
for the
Blade
exposition
Runner
is
does
fucking
have
terrible.
Rutger Hauer in it. Blade Runner's shit.
Ah, Jesus Christ. You say that, but we haven't talked about it yet and done a show about it, so we'll get there.
So
that may be a redo or a revisit, folks. But you can listen to the whole show and listen to all of our spoilers and still get a lot of engagement out of the movie.
Because there's no way we could properly describe exactly what happens in this movie.
Other than breaking it down scene by scene, I think.
But even then.
Yeah, we have to, just kind of take it for face value. But I would say, folks, if you haven't seen Wicked City yet and you want to, or if you want to hear us, talk about it and then go see it for yourself, you have the choice to stick with us after the spoiler wall.
Or you can turn
pause,
us off. Yeah.
go and watch it, and then come back. Because we're going to break it open and really dig into it and then talk about the fan base, as we usually do, and maybe a little bit of comparison with what kind of modern anime and what the anime stereotypes and stigmas and all that stuff are.
So, there it is. You guys have been warned. What the fuck is Wicked City?
You want to break it down?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, go for it. No, take a crack at the plot.
In a nutshell,
Yeah.
super Barney style.
Yeah, shit.
There's our world and then the world of the demons.
Yeah.
And there's a peace treaty between the two worlds. And every so many years, the treaty has to get renewed. And
About like 500 years or
this
few
is,
thousand, whatever.
It's the year where the treaty needs to get renewed. So all the important diplomats are coming together and having to be protected so that they could do the meeting. And the demons decide, we don't want it this year. We're going to attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
That's the setup. Yeah. That's the initial what's going down. There are some key characters.
Yeah, there's Taki, Makia.
Oh yeah, Makie. Yeah.
And my favorite, Giuseppe Mayart.
Oh my god, Giuseppe Mayart's fucking great.
I love him. He's the biggest fucking... He reminds me of Bill.
From your old work?
Yes!
So, folks, if you've seen the movie and you know the character Giuseppe Mayart, now you can think that Deborah worked with someone just like him.
No, I didn't work with him. Like, I worked at a
You worked
diner.
around him and he was a customer.
I worked at a diner and he was a patron at the diner. And then I got a job years later at a cigar lounge and he showed up there. So he kind of followed me.
Yeah. It's fucking great. So, yeah, totally. It's all about the conflict between the human world and the demon world, and the renewal of the peace treaty, because there are a rebel group of demons who believe that they are better than the humans. Very vampire Dracula type stuff.
Yeah.
and all they want to do is hunt humans. And in the first 10 minutes, we actually get to see that in action.
It's like not even the first 10 minutes. It's the first
right out of the
5.
gate.
It's immediate.
Yeah. The cold open of this movie before the title credit hits
Which
for Wicked
got
City.
me.
Yeah, because you'd never seen that. Like, you'd never even heard about it or known about it. You didn't know shit.
I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, so this guy knows this girl from work and she's taking him to her room and there's some nice sex going on. And then all of a sudden she grows spider legs and her vagina turns into a spider mouth. And she tries to eat him through her spider puss and her spider mouth puss.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that is one of the most notorious things about this entire movie.
And it's like 3 minutes in.
Yeah, anybody who has ever seen Wicked City or talked to their friends about Wicked City knows about spider vagina.
Yeah.
And that is the spider lady demon who opens the movie with our main character, Taki.
Yeah.
It's great.
Fucking
Such a great
hilarious.
scene. Such a good fucking scene.
The first time I saw it, I was like, okay, I could do. Whoa!
You were shocked as shit.
You
were like, wow, like it totally rocked you out of your fucking fever dream cold on the couch. You're just like, fuck.
I wasn't sure what I was seeing at first.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. Is like there is an element of surrealism with this supernatural premise.
Yeah.
Because the demons presented in the movie are shapeshifters. They can take the form of humans. They can change their shape into different types of creatures and monsters. And that's an ongoing thread through the entire movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is that this is based on a series of books.
As they usually are.
Yeah, I think this is like a 6-volume manga series.
I think so, yeah.
That's out right now. And it's from the the writer of Vampire Hunter D, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is D-related.
Yeah.
This honestly ties into so many anime.
Totally.
It goes to the D, it goes to...
Demon City Shinjuku, Yurotsuka Doji.
Goku, Midnight Eye, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, basically, there is a really specific and really good subgenre of anime horror or anime action or anime thriller movies or, manga or, books. It's through the whole media from that part of the world where it is the demon world as an existing, plane of reality versus our normal human world. So what's really cool about that is that, a lot of people have taken a crack at that. But I really think that this is one of the best.
Well, not only that, but also the guy who made this made a lot of other things that are really influential and noticeable. So it's just kind of funny how those things are all connected. And so because of him.
And one of his rules about how the demon world infiltrates the human world is demons can do 3 things. They can either wear the skin of a human, and something that isn't really fleshed out in the film, but is more in the books, is that whenever a demon's just wearing a regular human skin, they're easily noticeable by the protectors and the guardsmen, like what Taki is. Yeah. Because the skeletons...
The Blackguard,
Yeah, the Blackguard members can see that it's a demon wearing a skin.
Yeah.
Because there are different tells, the bone structure's weird, things like that. Another thing is that demons can do body modification, which is kind of alluded to a little bit with one of the characters that we see who fights the female demon Makie.
Yeah.
This guy who shows up is named Jin. He gets into the hotel. He's got the glasses on. We'll talk about him in a bit. The third way is
sex.
Possession. Sex can be a part of that. Yeah. Totally. So you can either, get possessed by a demon can wear someone's skin, or a demon can become like part cyborg or get some kind of body modification done to look like a human. So that's kind of the way that these creatures get in to hunt regular people, whether they're going to kill them and eat them or...
Well, there's also mimic.
Yeah.
So that's 4, because the girl that Taki was with, like, her actual human body with flesh and everything is in the bathroom floor of the bar.
Yep.
And the demon just mimicked her looks.
Yeah. So that's the whole like transformation thing.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. There's a lot that can be done with that. And what's funny is that the girl on the bathroom floor who got mimicked by the Spider Woman
never brings up again.
In both versions is passed out, supposed to be asleep, but we've always been like, no, she fucking killed her.
Yeah,
hands down.
Because you never see her again.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's like, I work with her, and she never shows up in the office.
Yeah, she's never brought back.
She's never like, what happened? Nothing. She's just done. That's it.
Well, let's talk about Taki's whole purpose.
So he's a member of the Blackguard, who is one of the guys. Like, he's a good guy that is part of a secret agency to make sure that the rogue demons don't cause havoc in the real world. So it's pretty much a black detective, like the Blackguard is pretty much the cops for demons.
Yeah. Totally secret agent stuff. Totally gun for hire.
Yeah, and no one knows about this agency, so his daytime job is electric salesman.
Yeah, and it's funny too because it was very much of the time that this story was written and the film was made, because of the huge economic bubble going on in Japan in the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
When everybody thought that companies like Sony were going to rule the fucking world. And the ideal lifestyle for a lot of people in this character's age range, which Taki's in his mid-20s,
28, yeah.
Yeah. Be a salaryman, make a shitload of money, and still get, thrills and go out to nightclubs and be kind of a player and, have that life.
Yeah.
So by day, he is a salesman at an electronics firm, a salaryman. By night, he is a playboy at the nightclub circuit in like Shinjuku Prefecture or something like that.
Yeah, and then while he's doing that, he's also secret agent demon hunter.
Yeah, he gets to have a fucking powerful gun that every time he shoots it, it knocks him through fucking walls.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking powerful. And he gets to fight creatures that morph like John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, this was heavily inspired by. There's no way it wasn't.
Fuck yeah. So, his job in the movie is to protect the most important guy who's going to show up for the demon-human peace treaty.
And his partner is...
His new partner
mm-hmm. is Makie, who is a demon.
Yeah.
Who is part of the Blackguard, which is unheard of, really.
Yeah, she's a guard from the demon world.
Yeah.
And it becomes kind of a buddy cop / romance movie. Yeah. Which is kind of funny because, Taki plays it his way, Makie plays it her way, and then they've got the comic relief, basically the Joe Pesci and Lethal Weapon 3, but so much better. Let's talk about Guiseppe Mayart, the fucking, 1,000-year-old plus demon king mystic guy who's been living in the ruins of Pompeii.
So yeah, they have to guard him for the night so that the next morning he can do the peace treaty. Mm-hmm. And so they're just taking him to the hotel and we just gotta watch you. And
what's the problem?
He is a fucking pervert. Constantly touching on her, constantly talking about boobs and pussy, and going to what was
fashion massage lounge.
Fashion massage lullaby. going to all these fucking brothels, and that's all he wants is to get fucking laid.
Yeah, he's supposed
and
to
he's
stay...
he's like 2,000 years old.
Yeah, he's old as shit. He's this tiny little fucking guy
do
with
your
these
voice.
Oh God. So okay, let's just talk about Giuseppe Mayart's voice actor real quick, because the guy who voiced him in the English dub, and both versions are worth watching. So if you watch the English version, it's really good. And if you watch the Japanese version, there are a couple of subtle differences along with some different dialogue changes. But Giuseppe Mayart kind of sounds like this. He's kind of a old crotchety, I just want to get laid. What the hell, Taki, man? You know. So he's a total fucking pain in the ass. And it's hilarious because he's constantly just talking shit.
He breaks out of the hotel while there's a huge fucking fight going on to go suck on a bath girl's tits.
So he winds up at like a
bathhouse brothel.
Bathhouse where he's getting soaped up by a brothel sex worker who winds up being a fucking demon. So this guy already, he's getting into fucking trouble, and while he's gone, while he escapes from the hotel that's supposed to be protected from any demons getting in, a demon fucking gets in. Because of course. And it happens to be someone who Makie knows intimately.
Yeah, like they used to be a couple, and... Yeah.
This was another guy who showed up in the trailer, because he runs into the room, and it goes into slow motion. He's got the fucking glasses on. In the book, he's got some cyborg implants to make him look more human. But he's also got certain powers, and then he has a little bit of interaction with Makie and decides to sexually assault her.
Yeah.
And this is probably about 5-7 minutes after we've been introduced to her as a character. So it's very early on that we are establishing that there will be a lot of sexual assault in this movie.
Not just...
Plus violence.
Because that's the thing. There's a lot of sex in this movie.
You know what, actually...
And then there's a lot of sexual assault and violence.
What happens between Taki and the Spider-Woman is kind of a sexual assault. Because he gets laid, and then she tries to devour him by wrapping her spider arms around him, and then he kind of jumps out.
That's not sexual assault. All of it was consensual. It was just, I'm going to have sex with you, and then I'm going to murder you.
Yeah, but I don't think he wanted to get his junk eaten off by a spider vagina.
But... Okay, so when we say sexual assault, we mean there's actually rape in this.
Yeah,
he wasn't raped.
No. That's been a big discussion in horror movies lately because of, tropes and all this other stuff. But that's for a whole nother day. You're right. There is a lot of...
There's a lot.
Rape in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's really, really tough to deal with, like, for real, but it's there and it's part of it.
Yeah.
But this isn't a movie where that is the full focus point to arouse viewers.
No, because there's even...
Because if that were the case, we wouldn't even fucking watch it.
And then there is... Because there's also sex where it's consensual sex. And then there's also lovemaking. And so it's all the spectrums of that. But those aren't the key factors to the story.
Yeah, the sexual assault in this...
They do actually help drive the story, though. Because if it weren't for her rape, he probably wouldn't have realized how much he cared for her.
Well, it's the protection thing.
Yeah.
And she does get damseled.
Yeah, she does. Which sucks, because she's such a badass.
Yeah, she's fucking badass. And the thing is, too, is by the end of the film, she's the one who
saves everybody. Yeah.
So, that's kind of the big issue, is that you can look at the individual moments where it's stuff that's extremely tough to handle and very morally wrong.
Oh.
But then when you get to the end and you see what all of the pieces have collected together to form the whole, it all winds up being the stuff that leads to evil actually getting defeated. Like, the bad guys showed how fucking bad they were by doing all this horrible shit, and then they got absolutely fucking what was coming to
Yeah,
them.
they got fucking devastated.
Oh man, in such a good way.
And the thing is what happens to her in the hotel isn't even the worst of what happens to her.
No, it levels up. Like, this is one
and
of those
then it levels
movies,
up after that.
Yeah, so bad shit happens. Worse shit happens. Even worse shit happens, and then the worst shit happens.
And then she takes care of all of it.
Yeah, she's like, all of you did this to me, you're all fucking dead.
Yeah.
Well, she goes after the biggest threat, the biggest bad guy out of all. You know, I think this is one of those movies where I gotta say that the henchmen are better than the big bad.
Yeah, because the big bad is kind of dumb.
Kind of basic.
He's basic. He doesn't really have... He's not intimidating.
Same thing with Ninja Scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the henchmen are cooler than, like, all the right-hand men, all of the, extra bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go down the list.
There's Spider-Woman,
yes.
who is better than he is.
Let's talk about Bathgirl, because we need to get back to her.
There's Bathgirl.
Yeah. Let's talk about Soap Girl.
So Soap Girl, she is practically just soaping up and sexing up Giuseppe.
Yeah.
And he starts sucking on her tits, and little do we know, he sucks a parasite through her nipple.
Yeah. It's totally like a fucking parasite that Hexus was before he inhaled a bunch of smoke.
Yeah. And once she gets him going and
for
gets
you
that
Ferngully fans,
which I was thinking about the other day, once she gets that parasite in him and starts soaping him up and getting him going a little bit while riding him, she then literally absorbs his body into hers.
Well, he's grabbing her breasts,
and then his breasts go into her boob, inside of her.
Yeah,
and they start sucking him in.
It's like what Trash does in Night of the Demons, where she sucks in the
lipstick
through her nipple.
Yeah.
So Giuseppe Mayart's hand goes into her body through her breasts,
and then the rest of him starts going into her.
And then Taki and Makie, after they kill Jin, who is in the middle of sexually assaulting her, they get to this soap bar. They find out he's there. Also, one thing I want to mention, the hotel manager reminds me a lot of Lloyd from The Shining.
A little bit, yeah.
Which is cool. So when you guys see that part, or if you know what we're talking about, that's the thing that we always think about with the chess scene and everything. It's great. But they pull Giuseppe Mayart out of the soap girl's body, and Makie shows her power with her fingernails, kind of like she does at the airport when she kills the guy by slicing him in half.
It's only on her left hand where her fingernails can jut out 50 feet and just penetrate and slice through you.
Yeah.
So she just on the soap girl, and she starts to dissolve.
Yep. So we've got a woman who turns into a spider demon, another woman who can absorb your body, who melts after she gets killed, and then we've got a cyborg athlete guy who gets blasted in half.
And then we got...
Those are the first three.
And then we got creamy underlips in the chest.
Creamy underlips in the chest. Oh my god! We're not there yet. We got to talk about what happens on the way to the fucking psychic hospital.
Yeah.
Where they got to take
Giuseppe, because he's in this psychic demonic paralysis.
Well, he's poisoned.
Yeah, he's poisoned.
Yeah, he's paralyzed. He's poisoned. His eyes have rolled
paralysis,
back.
That was the word.
He's got a fucking hour left, maybe, to live.
And they're yeah, we got to get him here because he's gonna fucking die because he's an idiot.
Yeah, and then they get sucked into a fucking void on the highway.
Yeah.
And the parasite gets barfed out of Giuseppe's body. He just rolls out of the car and throws it up. And it turns into a fucking tentacle monster.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most porny anime hentai stereotype of the entire film.
Because what happens? Makie's like, I'm going to get us out of here. I'm going to use my energy to bust open the seal.
Yeah.
And gets lifted up by the tentacle monster. Her shirt gets ripped open. It's holding her and then starts face fucking her.
God damn.
It happens.
Folks, we told you this was going to be a not safe for work show. So, thank you. Thank you for listening to us
doing
say
that,
this shit.
And her letting the monster, like having the monster do that.
Yeah.
Like somehow, I don't know, wastes its energy on doing that to her. So the seal is broken. So they're able to escape.
Well, she uses kind of like a last ditch psychic energy effort.
Oh yeah, she does kind of go do the shing.
Yeah, she tries to do like a psychic blast where she has like a fucking sky laser erupt out of her body. And then she basically sacrifices herself and blows up the monster. And Taki drives off when she's like, save yourself, but it's totally one of those scenes. And he gets to the hospital. And they get Guiseppe Mayart in a fucking water tank, very similar to like what happens to fucking Luke Skywalker and Empire Strikes Back and shit. And then we see what's actually happened to Makie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a little blue light starts shining in the sky.
And then you see huge pictures or video of her in the demon realm.
Yeah. Oh, it's like a portal. Projection.
Yeah. Just them doing everything to her.
Well, the thing is like you're not seeing penetration. You're
just hearing shit.
Yeah, it's all audio, and what you're seeing under this area where it's all being projected through a portal and everyone's standing around is like close-ups of her face.
Yeah.
Like moaning and, sexual assault and all that shit. And it's like,
so they show that the main guy is like,
it's all fucked up. Yeah.
Taki, if you care for her, you come save her right now. And Giuseppe's like, no, your job is to take care of me. And
oh God. So in the Japanese translation, there's some fucking bad shit. There's some really, really bad shit that he winds up saying.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
No.
Okay. So if you guys watch the Japanese version,
he says something really fucked up.
Yeah, but, again, it's part of the act. And we'll talk about the reveal after a little bit.
So he's like, no, you can't go there. You need to take care of me. Forget that tramp.
And Taki's like, fuck you. I'm
gonna go get her.
I'm gonna follow the light and fucking save her.
So he goes, and then you see what's going on.
Well, it's in like a burned out construction
warehouse
site building.
Yeah. And here we get to see shadows of penetration, and it's bad what they're doing to her in there.
Yeah, very, very porny silhouette stuff going on.
And there's some not silhouette, too. There's some stuff that they actually show.
Yeah.
But, so she's being used as bait and being used while being used as bait. And Taki shows up and you get to see the big bad, and
he's just a fucking guy in a suit.
Yeah. And then there's a lady who has a vagina on her chest.
Yeah, she's like wearing a freaking, I don't know, evening gown or something. Like these look like two people who might be maybe kind of Yakuza like gangster-y kind of business bad people-ish.
But she has this creamy vag on her chest and can suck you in.
Yeah, she takes her dress off and it just opens up in her fucking stomach.
And the whole time she's like taking Taki into her chest and she's moaning.
Yeah.
And getting off while she's trying to read his mind and find out if he and Makie have made love yet.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then slices her gash open and kills her.
Yeah. And he then just shoots
everybody.
All of the fucking faceless henchmen, which are, the lowly guys wearing like the
grunts.
Yeah, they're all, wearing black suits with black ties, stuff that eventually wound up in, the style of like Reservoir Dogs type shit, and they all get killed. And then the big bad guy says, don't you realize what you've done? What's happening with all the people that you just killed? Because they create this giant armor from their bodies around him. Like, they all turn into tar. And then he gets encased in it, so he's now, like, petrified and super powerful. And he can shoot spikes out of his arms.
And he
just gets shot in the face.
And he's still a wimp.
Yeah, he gets shot through the fucking mouth because his teeth aren't protected. So it's totally another thing that was used in Ninja Scroll, which I think is just beautiful.
So from there...
the stone guy gets killed by getting hit in the face and eyes.
Everybody gets killed.
Yeah.
And Taki gets Maki, and he's like, we need to get you some clothes and get you back to the hospital.
Mm-hmm. This is where her fashion model plot.
Oh, yeah, because she's supposed to be a fashion model.
That's her cover in the human world. She's a fashion model who everybody hates.
Because she's obnoxiously perfect.
That's some of the fucking dialogue in this movie.
Some of the dialogue in this is so fucking hilarious.
I love it.
So they get her clothes and they arrive to the hospital, and Giuseppe's like, you ran away without me. And the main guy fires Taki, and he and Taki, and then he and Maki are just like, fuck this shit. We're gonna...
Fuck you guys. We're gonna
go... And they leave.
Yeah. We're gonna go drive down the highway and figure some shit out. And they wind up in a tunnel, and guess who shows back up?
They leave, and they leave Giuseppe at the hospital. And while they're driving, out of nowhere, Giuseppe pops up in the back of their car, and they're like, "What the fuck? How'd you get here?" And they're like, "Your job's still to protect me."
It's so fucking good.
And then they get into the tunnel.
Yes, which is just the best. I love the whole thing where they're like, we're not fucking working for you anymore. We're not under contract. I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Talking to Giuseppe. Because there's a point earlier when Giuseppe is like, come on, let's go to the brothels. And he's talking shit. And he's like, ooh, I'm going to get a taste of a Demon World girl.
Yeah.
And he's got a moment where he kind of steps forward.
He's about to,
he's like, I'm gonna beat your ass, little guy. Fucking, one more word. You say one more goddamn, and then she, Maki is like, I got this. So he goes downstairs and he gets
they're in
sandwiches
the tunnel,
and plays chess.
and all these spider webs start showing up.
Yeah.
And so here comes Spider Lady.
Yep.
And she fucks up their car, about kills everybody.
Yeah, Mayart disappears.
Yeah, and Mayart disappears.
Yeah. And the Spider Woman gets Taki and Maki ensnared in one of her webs, and she just starts slashing the shit out of them.
I think she kills them.
Yeah, I would say so, because Mayart, he's got enough strength and ability to save him. That's the thing too, is there's healing power. So when you've got someone who's near death, like when Taki almost dies because of the fight with the big bad, who he shoots in the mouth, Maki heals him, you know, with a little bit of psychic energy. Well, the thing about how they get out of this situation with the spider lady trying to kill him.
Well, they get ensnared and encapsulated in spiderweb and then wake up in light.
Yeah, in the church.
Well, they're not even in the church. They're in light.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They're just in light, and they make love.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then after they're done making love, they wake up on a table in the church.
Yeah, so the Spider Woman, she gets killed because a giant electric bolt goes down one of her webs and she dies. And there's something interesting about the difference between the Japanese version and the English version. It seems like in the English version, she says something like, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
And in the Japanese version, she's like, "Who are you?" Which is kind of different because I think she didn't know who Giuseppe Mayart was in the Japanese version.
Gotcha.
But in the English version, she might have known him or known about him.
See, for me in the English version, because you never see, because
Who kills her?
Who kills her?
Yeah, it's from the shadows.
Because Giuseppe's on a different part of the room.
Yeah.
And then it's coming, so she's getting killed from this direction, and she looks up and she's like, "Why are you doing this?" I always thought it was the big
bad guy?
Yeah.
I always thought that too.
Being like, "Oh, you still fucked up again, so I'm gonna fucking kill you because you fucked up."
She's working for him.
Yeah.
And she fucking let Taki go the first time and said, "I got what I needed out of you," indicating sex or spunk or whatever.
Yeah. I think it was spunk. I think she needed a spunk.
But
to either make spider webs or to figure out the whole subplot.
We get...
Well, it's gotta be to figure out the subplot. Yeah. Because remember, like, when they're in the warehouse after... they leave and it's her like
talking to the head.
Yeah. And she's like, it is what you thought it was and it's genetic.
Yep.
So I'm thinking she collected the spunk.
She figured out that he was actually able to impregnate a woman from the demon world.
Spoiler, but yeah. We didn't get there yet.
Well, that's the thing, is that as soon as they make love and they wake up, it's all revealed.
Yeah.
Like, Guiseppe Mayart steps in, and it's this huge chapel, and they're in front of a statue of the Madonna, which we realize is, I guess, kind of hollowed out because the fucking bad guy's inside of it.
Yeah.
And he's got... tentacle spikes whipping around, trying to attack Mayart.
But the whole thing is, it's not for the peace, for them to protect the peace treaty. It's for them to hook up and have sex because they are genetically perfect to have a baby who's going to save both worlds.
Mayart reveals the whole thing in like 2 minutes. Right at the end of the fucking movie, he's like, "Oh, by the way, this is what was going on the whole time."
So yeah, it's probably here's
the twist.
The spider lady probably needed his jizz because when she goes there, she's like, "It is what you thought it was, and it is genetic."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, Giuseppe Mayart reveals the whole thing. So what happens?
So from there, it's let's have a huge fight on top of the chapel, which the Crow totally ripped off. And everyone's fighting with the big bad, and then Makia is pregnant and has super ultra powers and is able to kill the bad guy.
Yeah, she can float. Oh, that's the thing about the bad guy, too.
She can glow and give you a seizure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The bad guy, the big bad guy, his...
transforms like 20 zillion times.
Well, the whole thing is that his ultimate power is that you have to destroy every last particle.
Exactly.
Every
at the same
last
time.
cell of his body.
Yeah.
For him to die.
Yeah.
Because if you leave one last molecule of him alive, he's going to regenerate.
Yeah.
So he regenerates into monster form. He looks all fucked up, and he's got, all these different boils and gnarly teeth and all this different stuff when he's completely shed his human form and everything else. He tries to suck Taki and Giuseppe Mayart into a void realm and impale them with spikes and all this other stuff. But Makie just fucking beats his ass.
She just floats down, disappears, reappears, disappears, reappears, and then slices with her fingernails, and he's just dead.
Just blows him up. Like, she hits him once, and he just incinerates into fucking... light. Like, boom.
And then the rest of his body just like ashes down like snow.
It's great. It's fucking great.
And then at the end they're like, Taki's like, I don't love you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best part.
I don't.
Because he's like, are you guys ready to
tie the knot
and have a baby and protect the world?
And he's like,
Taki's like, no, I'm good.
And she's like,
I'm not into it.
And she's like, you can't. And then he turns around. He's like, okay, I'll try.
Yeah, maybe I can. Whatever.
Maybe I can love you.
Yeah.
And then it ends with him doing this monologue about how he got hired back on, and the whole time he's chasing someone, like
he's running
up ladders and up onto the top of a roof.
Yeah.
And he's talking this thing. He's like, I got hired back, and it's gonna be a while till our baby is able to save the world. So I gotta do it until that time comes. Da-da-da!
He's fucking holds the gun up to the side of his face. He's like, yeah.
And that's
the end.
And that's Wicked City.
That's the end. That's amazing. and then that fucking amazing song.
Oh.
Ends the credits. Folks, just so you know, Deborah's had a little bit of rough sinus stuff this week, so hopefully you can bear with us. But oh my God, we're gonna play that song at the end of the show.
We are not singing it because we do not want to
we don't want to be rude.
We don't want to be racially inconsiderate,
like the fucking singer is, which is oh boy. But yeah, this movie's a fucking blast. This movie is so much goddamn fun.
And it gets, like, even though I've seen it a few times and I know what's going to happen, I still have so much fun.
Well, you pick up little stuff.
Yeah.
Every single time we watch it. Like, you see a little detail. You pay attention to, something in the frame that you might not have seen the previous time. The film is stylish as fuck, too.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's incredibly well crafted, amazingly well directed. The backgrounds in the scenes and in the establishing shots are fucking amazing. Those are done by an artist
gorgeous.
who I love. The creatures are really well designed.
The word I would use is sinewy.
Yeah, totally. Totally, like when you're looking at muscle tissue being like split apart.
Not even that. It's like even when they're just themselves, they're sinewy.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
So yeah, guys, that was Wicked City.
Yeah, we have some pretty good opinions about it. It really ties in with a lot of the kinds of features that we love from the animated film landscape, Japanese anime. It's from a golden era of 80s animation.
Well,
that
this
I think
was like 87?
This was an 87 film, but it didn't come out in the States until about 93.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and there's a crazy fucking story behind that where this could have been a fucking canon movie.
Are you serious? It's Orion, isn't it?
So here's what happened.
Okay.
Canon Films was going down.
Yeah.
Like, all of their fucking money had been blown on, like, Tobe Hooper's fucking invasion of Invaders from Mars after he did Life Force. They blew a lot of money on him with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. They had a huge failure with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and they were just bleeding money. Like, Yoram and Menachem were broke. They had the option to buy the Robotech movie, which is a huge staple for anime fans from this era. And they passed. They're like, oh, there's no future in cartoons. So what wound up happening was one of the theater coordinators in the States who was able to get Robotech in theaters and a bunch of other anime movies in theaters started a company called Streamline that eventually got bought by Orion.
Gotcha.
So if Golem Globus had decided to move forward, this and everything else that got released by Orion would have been a fucking canon movie.
Sorry, guys.
So when all this shit went down, Wicked City was crazy controversial. It wound up having a, decent little theatrical run. And then it got put on home video. And it was originally a movie released for the home video market because all of the people behind it knew that it was going to do incredibly well with rental stores. So eventually it got a life. It made it to the States. People fell in love with it. And then it became a fucking, cult classic. But I'm happy that it's out there. I'm happy that it still has a life. The new DVD that came out from Discotech Media is fucking awesome. The fans of it, they're out there. Some of my best friends are fans of this movie and think it's fucking awesome. I agree with them. What do you think? Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I had never heard of this one. I had never known anyone that heard of this one, so I really don't know the fan base about it. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And I am drinking water. I'm sorry, guys. But I think it's absolutely amazing. It's gorgeous. More people need to know about it, but I have a feeling it's going to upset a lot of people.
What's really funny, too, is that without the team that made this movie, there would not be a lot of Miyazaki movies that existed.
Oh, no.
Because Oga, the art director who did all of the design for, the world that this takes place in, wound up going off to do shit like Totoro and Mononoke and tons more. So I think director Kawajiri, he had some difficult thoughts when it comes to telling a tough story, and the reason why he wanted to frame the film and write the screenplay with as much sex and violence in it as he did. But effectively, when it comes down to it, the intent of the story and the narrative of this film is to show that the characters were in real, serious fucking danger.
Not just, here's demons and they're in trouble from being demons. He was like, here's an actual real world threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That, is relatable. I mean, sexual violence and, murderous violence, those are some of the most threatening things that can happen to a person.
Yeah.
So this movie pulls no punches.
At all.
No, not by any means. But folks, thank you for listening to us talk about it. We really appreciate you joining us as we dug into this one. I think there's a lot more that we could talk on. So if you want to hit us up on any of our social feeds, feel free to send us whatever thoughts, inputs you have, and we'll have that dialogue.
Yeah, do it on SoundCloud, do it on Facebook,
Twitter, Instagram. Our official website,
Patreon.
Yeah, you can hit us up at freakyfandomspc.com. Wherever you want to talk to us, we will hit you right back, and we'll have that discussion.
Yeah.
But I think it's about time for some shout outs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to shout out today?
I want to give a quick shout out to American McGee and Martin. They're doing Alice Asylum, as always. Lots more art. They got the White Rabbit plushie out there. They're thinking about doing another one, which is going to be the Cheshire Cat. But they are picking up steam on it. And go support them so we can get this friggin' game. Please.
Yeah, for real.
Please, I need this. Please make it happen. But also just show your love for him and Martin, because they're both wonderful people and great artists. And yeah, so check them out. They give us love. We give them love. You should too.
Pirate Jam's coming up too, so keep an eye and ear out for that one too, folks.
So I want to shout out to them. Quick shout out to VG Nights.
Yes.
My brother Tandon is over there, still kind of working on our episode a little bit.
Yeah, how's that coming? Because there might be a week where it might just be you and him.
It's kind of changed from...
Oh, that's right. There's been some news, huh?
There's been some news. So because there was news, we want to do there's a subject of our subject that we wanted to focus on, but now that we have news about our subject, we're kind of having to talk a little bit about the main.
Why don't you guys make that an April show?
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for months. Why don't we just say that show's coming in April?
It might be in April. Latest would be July, though. Because
that's too far out.
Well, I'm going on vacation.
I know. But by that point, we'll have plenty of stuff going on. There's some new things in the works. I think getting that show out in the next few weeks would probably be the best deal, because I'm going to be gone. So we're going to need a show for that week anyway.
I'm saying I do it while I'm on vacation.
Maybe.
Yeah.
again, I think that's a little far, and we've been talking about this so much.
Yeah.
We might just need to get it out there soon.
Now there's more, and we have to do more work.
That's right. That's right. You better get ready. My shout-outs for this week, as always, Dark Art Society podcast and Bone and Sickle podcast, both great shows that we love and support every week. And also...
4 Brains, 1 Movie, Dinner with Lynch.
26 Movies from Hell.
Yeah.
Thanks to Bradley Cornish for being on our 100th episode. It was a great conversation about kinder trauma, and we've been getting a lot of feedback that we need to do a part 2.
Yes.
So
and
that's...
part 2 will happen where I'm actually able to participate more, because after I was done, I was like, fuck, I didn't mention all these shits.
We didn't mention any music. We didn't mention any games. There's a lot to talk about. And there are some interesting things in the works with those guys that we will be discussing on all of our feeds coming up soon for patrons and followers and subscribers. But we are doing a contest right now.
Yes.
So if anybody listening wants to win a DVD of one of the movies that we've talked about on 26 Movies from Hell, we have 3 films that we're giving away, and you can pick one of them. We've got All the Colors of the Dark. We've got
Alice, Sweet Alice.
Alice, Sweet Alice. Yep. And we've got Combat Shock. So if you want to put your name in for one of those DVDs, send us an email to freakyfandomspc@gmail.com with one of your favorite moments from our show or from 26 Movies from Hell. And we will do this drawing and figure out who is going to be the lucky winner of one of these DVDs on Friday, which will be this Friday, what is that, the 15th, I think?
Yes, Friday the 15th.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because we're about to come up on
St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day.
17th.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see Eric Andre on the 16th. So.
Yeah. What are we doing for St. Patrick's Day?
You wanted me to tell everybody?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Because we could make this into a show, but it won't be till next year because we've already got the next one.
We are drinking.
Wait. Should we do...
Yeah, I'm already talking.
All right.
We're drinking. I am making homemade shepherd's pie.
Yes.
We are doing the Maniac Cop drinking game.
Thanks, Fango. Thanks. You're going to get us in the hospital.
After that, we are watching Leprechaun 4, which is Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yeah.
And then we're wrapping everything up with Surviving the Game.
Right. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm so ready.
Surviving the Game is not a St. Patty's Day movie.
Yeah, it is.
But it is for us.
Totally. Fucking totally. It's, oh my God. Fucking. There's so many good Ice-T movies.
That's the best one.
It's great.
But yeah, so Surviving the Game is our St. Patrick's Day movie. Don't ask us why. It just fucking is.
Yeah. And then we're going to watch the music video for Trespass.
Yep.
It's going to be great. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening to us for another show. We always appreciate you going down these journeys with us and digging into these subjects with us. Thank you, of course, as always, to patrons, subscribers, followers, and friends. And and it's out.
Yeah, I think we're freaky. I'm just putting me on the spot.
All right. Can I pass that up?
So hold me please in the shadow.